Minneapolis Police Sergeant David Pluger testified department policy allows officers to use a knee to restrain a subject until that person is handcuffed and under control.
When Mr. Floyd was no longer offering up any resistance to the officers, they could have ended their restraint.
And that was after he was handcuffed and on the ground and no longer resistant?
Correct.
Jurors also heard testimony from Floyd's girlfriend, who discussed how they both struggled with opioid addiction. Today's proceedings will be shorter because of Good Friday. This year's Easter celebrations are different than last year, but in an Easter message, President Biden acknowledged many people are still feeling the longing and loneliness of distance.
By getting vaccinated and encouraging your congregations and your communities to get vaccinated, we not only can beat this virus, we can also hasten the day when we can celebrate the holidays together again.
30% of the population's got at least a dose of the vaccine, including California Governor Gavin Newsom. He got a single-dose Johnson & Johnson shot and said the increase in cases in more than 20 states shows why a mask mandate is still necessary.
Many other states have lifted the mask mandate, and you're seeing their numbers reflect that. You're seeing numbers increase in other states. In California, we've been able to hold pretty steadily.
There are more entertainment options available in Southern California. The Santa Cruz Boardwalk and its large roller coaster have reopened. Spokesman Chris Reyes says,
seeing the boardwalk closed for an entire summer in 2020 was absolutely unprecedented. For those of us that work here and our guests that love the boardwalk, it was frankly extremely sad.
Analysts will be looking at leisure and hospitality jobs in today's March jobs report. A wide range of predictions. Economists predict anywhere from 600,000 to 1 million new jobs added. You're listening to ABC News.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts, too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Sources now confirmed to ABC News federal investigators are looking into whether Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz gave cash to women he had sex with after meeting them online. Justice Department officials are also looking at an alleged inappropriate relationship the Republican representative may have had with a 17-year-old. He has denied wrongdoing. The mayor of Chicago is calling for the release of police body cam video after a 13-year-old boy was shot and killed by an officer this week. Police have called it a, quote, armed confrontation. A New York man and his wife are now both accused of conspiring to help ISIS. James Bradley from the Bronx and Arwa Muthana were arrested trying to board a ship heading overseas. Prosecutors allege they also discussed a possible terror attack at West Point, or another university where military recruits were being trained. Wild ride on a school bus in Virginia for some kids and a deer, as ABC's Derek Dennis explains.
Talk about a rude awakening. That's the sound of a deer flying through the windshield of a yellow school bus in suburban Richmond, landing on top of a high school student who was luckily trying to take a nap.
Deer land on you? Yes. Oh my God. Good. I was trying to sleep.
The bus's camera feed showing the student's head was already down, his body horizontal, when the deer came bursting through, shattering glass everywhere. And no, the buck didn't stop there. The bus driver opened the door and the deer ran off. No one injured. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
You know, folks are saying once you've used a Massey Ferguson, you won't ever want another tractor. They're tough, versatile, and dependable. And now with the change of season special at NC Tractor and Farm Supply, you'll be wise to get your special deal. Our tractors have been running in families for generations. Ask about the Phil Sheehan special going on right now. NC Tractor, 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. Call 288-0395. Well, it is a beautiful, great getting up morning here on this Good Friday morning. It's 31 degrees, warming up to 51 here in our vantage point. Gusting winds, 17 miles per hour. As far as I can look down, all the way through Wednesday of next week, it's sunny skies, mostly sunny. The temperatures up in the 70s once it gets past Saturday. Sunday, 70, 72 on Monday, 76 on Tuesday, and 78 on Wednesday of next week. And the nighttime's not too bad either. Right now, though, it's 31 degrees, dropping down tonight to 27 degrees. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Wake Up Call, hour number 2. So tickled to death to have you here with us as we get our day started together. Now I have these death announcements. Willie Kenneth Ken Thompson, age 85, of Forest City, died Wednesday at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. A service from the graveside will be held at 2 o'clock Saturday, April 3rd, at Mountain Creek Baptist Church Cemetery. Military honors will be accorded by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Family will greet friends following the service at the cemetery. Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is serving the family of Willie Kenneth Ken Thompson. Carolyn Edwards Harden passed away Tuesday, March 30th. The funeral service will be held 2 o'clock today at the Paget and King Chapel, officiated by Reverend Bruce Caldwell and Reverend Coy Parks. Burial will follow in the Eternal Hills Memorial Park. The family will receive friends from 1 until 2 o'clock prior to the service at the mortuary. The family suggests social distancing protocols be observed. And we understand people who would like to attend the service but due to COVID may feel uncomfortable. If you'd like to watch the service being live streamed, please go to www.facebook.com/Spencer Baptist Church. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements. For Carolyn Edwards Harden. Deanne Rita Hawkins, age 66, of Cliffside, died Tuesday, March 30th at her home. The family will receive friends Saturday, April 3rd, from 1 until 2 o'clock in the sanctuary of Campfield Memorial Baptist Church in Ellenboro. The memorial service will follow at 2 o'clock, with Reverend Nick King officiating. Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside is serving the family of Deanne Rita Hawkins of Cliffside. Jimmy Rumfeld, Sr., age 85, of Forest City, passed away Wednesday, March 31st at his residence, fondly referred to as the Mayor of Lowbridge. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock on Saturday, April 3rd at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel, with Reverend Ernie Cole and Reverend Bill Chapman officiating. Burial will follow at Mount Pleasant Baptist Church Cemetery. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services has been entrusted with those arrangements for Jimmy Rumfeld, Sr. Andrew Platts, age 74, of Forest City, died Friday, March 26 at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. A memorial service will be conducted at 7 o'clock Friday at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home, Harrelson Funeral Home and Cremation Service, serving the family of Andrew Platts. Dave Kager Cox, Sr., age 78, passed away Thursday, March 25th. A celebration of Dave's life will be held at 2 o'clock Sunday, April the 11th, at the Marvin Stafford Residence, 125 Henson Road, Forest City. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service entrusted with the arrangements for Dave Kager Cox, Sr. Elvira Elaine Walford, age 94, died March 17th. The celebration of life will be held at Fairfield Mountains Chapel, Lake Lure, Saturday, April 24th. Crow's Mortuary is serving the family of Elvira Elaine Walford.
Story here from the United Kingdom. It's an example of what the left is trying to do everywhere. Dr. David Macareth was training to become a disability assessor with the Department for Work and Pensions. When he was ordered to refer to patients by whatever gender label they identified as, he objected. Strike one. Strike two was his reason. He said gender is defined by biology and genetics. The doctor also cited his religious belief. He said that as a Christian, he believed God made humans male and female. Strike three, dude. He was found unfit to work as a disability assessor, and he was promptly fired. The doctor filed a discrimination complaint. Last week, the tribunal in Birmingham announced its decision. Now, the ruling addressed three issues. The judge said the doctor's belief that God made two sexes, his lack of belief in transgenderism, and his conscientious objection to transgenderism were incompatible with human dignity. So in the eyes of this court, traditional morality and Christian belief, as taught for thousands of years in churches around the world, is somehow incompatible with human dignity. Listen, if you think this anti-religious ruling is incompatible with what liberals want to do here in the United States, guess again, bro. It's only a matter of time, and not much time at that. Next time somebody asks you how many genders there are, just say 100 to be safe.
Maxwell, she was scratching and losing some hair. My vet, she says, oh, he must be allergic to chicken. Another vet said, eat the grain. Third vet said, it's the weather. Then somebody said, DINOVITE.com. It took 2 weeks, and the dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out. The Dinovite is a big part of Maxwell's diet.
You get some Dinovite, how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
When it comes to building wealth, knowing where you stand is half the battle. That's why we've created Stifel Wealth Tracker. Stifel Wealth Tracker lets you build your personal balance sheet and track your net worth over time. You can securely link your financial accounts using bank-level encryption and even connect with a Stifel financial advisor if you need professional guidance regarding your situation. Download Stifel Wealth Tracker on the App Store, Google Play, or by going to stifel.com/tracker. That's STIFEL.com/tracker.
This is Gerald Willis, attorney with the Arledge Law Firm in Rutherford. I want to publicly commend Jim Bishop, Lou Gillum, Tracy Hauser, and the entire WCAB staff for their effective and fruitful advertising program. My law firm, the Arledge Law Firm in Rutherford, began advertising with WCAB almost 2 years ago, and I am happy to report and confirm that our regular radio ads with WCAB have generated plenty of calls to our law firm to retain our various legal services. The economic benefit we have received from our advertising with WCAB makes the reasonable cost of advertising with WCAB well worth it. So, take it from me, Attorney Gerald Willis with the Arledge Law Firm. Advertising with WCAB pays big dividends. I encourage all my fellow business people in Rutherford County to promote their businesses by advertising with WCAB.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Nothing goes better with your early cup of coffee than Jim Bishop in the mornings on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB.
Well, when you hear someone say, I have finally found a heating and air conditioning company I can depend on, and you say, who? And they say, Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning. So then you find out more, and you learn Immaculate will do a spring checkup special on your air conditioner for only $49.99. Hot weather coming soon, and you want to be ready for it with a hassle-free air conditioner, don't you? Well, get it inspected during the spring checkup for this special price of $49.99. You can book online at www.immaculateheatingandair. That's immaculateheatingandair.com. Just click the green Book Online button at the top of the page or call 755-8150. By the way, this $49.99 springtime special is for a limited time, and I don't want my friends like you to miss out on that.
It's great to get discounts on beautiful furniture, and thanks to the Recliner Center, you can get 10% off everything in the store. 10% off lift chairs, 10% off sofas, 10% off recliners, 10% off bedding. Angela has changed her hours to suit your schedule. The Recliner Center is now open Tuesday through Friday 9 to 4 and Saturdays 9 to 2. And of course, you can make an appointment by calling 828-395-3562. Come by soon and pick out the recliner, sofa, or lift chair that best suits you and get 10% off your purchase. Come by and see Angela Cooper at the Recliner Center today. The Recliner Center is on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
The Lincoln County War was going full tilt. William Brady was the sheriff of a legal group to fight what he considered to be the corruption in the county. And for the most part, the locals looked favorably upon them. On the morning of April Fool's Day, 1878, Sheriff William Brady was walking down Lincoln's Main Street with 4 of his deputies. Then from behind an adobe wall, guns started barking. It's obvious that Sheriff Brady was the main target because in a matter of seconds, he had more than a dozen bullet holes in him. Brady and Billy the Kid had history. Billy blamed Brady for the death of his friend John Tunstall, and earlier that year, Billy had tried to arrest Brady. But Brady was able to turn the tables on the Kid, and the Kid ended up in jail. When the shooting died down, Billy the Kid walked up to the body of Sheriff Brady. Some say he was looking for arrest warrants for Billy and the regulators. Others say Billy was looking for the Winchester rifle Brady had taken from him back in February. Then a shot rang out from hiding. It nicked Billy's hip. Billy wisely ran for cover and the regulators left town. Although Billy was able to get his vengeance, the outcome of the event wasn't good for him. Because of the way it happened, Billy started losing the sympathy of the locals, and they began questioning the legality of his regulators. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
All right, it's 17 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Good Friday. Let's go down to the phones and get started with our call around the county news report. Stopping first at the Sheriff's Department. And Officer Butron is on the phone right now to give us that update. Good morning. How you doing?
Good, sir. How are you doing?
Good. What's on the report from the past few hours?
In the past 24 hours, the Sheriff's Office has responded to 117 calls for service. Jails processed 12 arrests, and there's currently 146 detained in the county jail. For arrest reports, Ron Lee Gilmer was charged with an order for arrest for failure to comply. Derek Ray Wellborn was served with an order for arrest for 4 counts of felony probation violations. And Benjamin Franklin Moore, Jr. was served with a warrant for speed to elude arrest and resisting a public officer. And that's all we've got.
All right, Officer Butron, thank you for that. I hope you have a safe Easter weekend.
Thank you, sir.
18 past 7.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Here's Stacy now reporting from 911 Communications Center. Stacy, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's on the report?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Centers processed 825 911 calls and administrative calls, which consist of 38 EMS calls, 32 for rescue. Under law enforcement, Sheriff's Office 117, Forest City 65, Rutherford 50, Lake Lure 1, and Spindale 44. Under fire calls, dispatched Bills Creek to a residential fire alarm, Chimney Rock to a fire alarm, Forest City to industrial fire alarm, Lake Lure to a residential fire alarm, Rutherford to a fire alarm, SDO to a motor vehicle accident, Spindale to a motor vehicle accident, and Sandy Mush to a motor vehicle accident. That's all we have.
All right, thanks so much. You have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye. McCurry Deck Motors has been providing an impressive selection of automobiles for over 50 years. At McCurry Deck, you can browse the great selection of GMC automobiles and drive away in one knowing you have gotten the best deal possible. The team at McCurry Deck Motors counts it a privilege to make you a happy and satisfied customer. Why not test drive one of the comfortable and stylish GMCs today? At GMC, we are professional grade. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of GMC, Chevy, and Buick. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. We had a couple of football games last night in our region. We broadcast the Thomas Jefferson Messier City game live from Thomas Jefferson, and that was a 48-8 win for TJ. And also another game was played, East Gaston. East Gaston beat East 54-13 in that game. Tonight we have more action, and Mr. Friday Night will be talking to us about that a little after 8 o'clock this morning. Here's Ruby Taylor now with a report from Danieltown, SDO Fire District. Ruby, what's been happening over there?
Well, the fire department had one call, and that was to a vehicle accident. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Adam Marlins having birthday and Jimmy Hollifield having birthday, and hope these people have a nice day. Signs are in the thighs today and going to the knees tomorrow and Sunday. And that's all I've got, Jim.
Thanks, Ruby. You have a good Easter weekend.
You too.
Bye.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
At McCurry Deck Motors, you can browse a selection of vehicles that includes all of the top models in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC lineups. The McCurry Deck Motors lineup of vehicles checks all the boxes, ensuring that they will have the perfect vehicle for any car shopper that visits their lot. Come visit and see what's in store for you and your family with the McCurry Deck quality reputation of fair deals and customer service. Try the Chevy. Find new roads with Chevy. At McCurry Deck Motors, we're the home of Chevy, Buick, and GMC. 1740 U.S. Highway 74A, Forest City. Gary Wilson's still out this morning. He'll be back on with us on Monday. Let's go right now to the Shiloh. Let's go to the Oak. Where are we going?
We were going to Hudlow.
Yeah, that's where Bob Hodge is. Yeah, I've got my. Let me turn my map around here so I'm looking at it right. Yeah, there we go. Now we're over to the to the Hudlow Fire District. Bob Hodge, how you doing?
Oh, we're doing just fine on this good chilly Friday morning there.
Well, the wind's been blowing so much it blew my map all circles that I couldn't follow my map where I was going this morning.
Well, you got your tongue over your eye tooth and couldn't see what you're saying.
That's right. But it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, though. We do know that.
Yeah, it is. Look like that sun's coming up bright this morning, and maybe it'll warm up a little after a while, and maybe that wind won't get too bad today. So if it don't get too windy, it won't be too bad. So, but it looks like a good weekend coming up though for Easter, so that's good.
Yeah.
And at least we ain't gonna have no rain, so
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty. The kids get out and hunt their Easter eggs and everything, so that'll be nice. And Jim, up here with the fire department overnight, let's see, we had one medical call, and then we had a call to a tree down on Centennial Road. And then birthdays for Sunday, Anthony Walker. And Jim, that's about it up here so far this morning. Things are going along good. And I hope you have a real good Easter.
Thank you, Bob. I hope you and Amagina have a great Easter as well. And keep your socks on your feet because it's going to be kind of chilly for a while, but I think it's going to warm up nicely. You have a good day and a good weekend.
Well, you too.
Thanks, Bob. Bye. Bye-bye. Bob Hodge reporting in this morning from the Hudlow Fire District over there. You can hear Bob most afternoons also with the afternoon caller and report with Kevin Pleasant. Now let's check this out. We'll be back to the phones. Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. All right, we're going over to Sue's place. Sue's place there in the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Beautiful morning, Sue. Can we visit with you this morning for a few minutes?
Oh, yes. Come on in.
Good.
Pretty morning this morning. But it's cold out there.
Yes.
Anyway. Well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. I don't have any birthdays on my church calendar. On my personal calendar, I got a birthday for Libby Green, so happy birthday to Libby. And Fairview didn't have anything on theirs for today, and I don't have first broad yet. In my announcements, the blood drive, April the 12th, from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Golden Valley Community Club. So if you're able to donate, please come on out. And then Saturday, April 17th, barbecue, smoked chicken, and pulled pork, Ruatan, Hopewell Hollis Clubhouse, 2500 Hollis Road in Ellenboro, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Adults are $10. Children 6 to 12 is $5. So a good supper coming up over there at Hopewell. And I guess that's what I have this morning, Jim. It's just quiet and calm over this way, looking for a good day and a good weekend, and hope you and Phil have one. And
Thanks.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you, too. And I'll see you.
Happy Easter to all our good listeners.
Thank you very much. I'll see you on Monday.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Sue Price reporting out of the Cherry Mountain Fire District. We had a Braves game yesterday, opening season for the Braves. They didn't win. They lost yesterday, 3-2, 10 innings, though. And I don't know why they're off today. Does anybody know why they took a day off? They can come back and play the Phillies tomorrow? I don't know. But they're off today, play the Phillies again tomorrow. It's an afternoon game, 2:50 airtime, 4 o'clock first pitch. And high school football action tonight. Chase at RS Central, 6:30, and his homecoming at Central tonight. Farmers Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply is a variety store. Here's why I say that. Cedar shavings, 5.0 cubic feet, $7.99 per bag. They have Pontiac red potatoes, Kennebec potatoes, $18 for 50 pound. River Run dog food, specially priced. Plenty of horse quality hay. Refill propane, $10.99 for a 20-pound tank. Wrangler sweet feed, $8.69 for the 50-pound bag. Cardinal tissue and paper towels, 6-pack, $4.49. Farmers Friend Feed, Seed, and Supply is the largest farm supply store, and you should come and see how much you can save. 188 Whiteside Road, Rutherford. Now let's see if we can head up the road a little ways and find out some news from the Shingle Hollow community. How you doing today?
I am doing great. Good morning from Shingle Hollow.
Is your name Tina?
That's my name today.
Well, if we didn't have a little fun once in a while, life would be boring, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know. I have so much fun I can't imagine not having any. Oh, I am living my dream.
Good.
It is 29 degrees up here in Shingle Hollow, and sun is peeking over the or starting to peek over there, some peach color in the sky. The wind has blown like crazy up here. Everybody has stuff if they didn't have it to nail down. It's not where it was if it's outside. Fire department, Shingle Hollow didn't have any. Green Hill had a medical assist call yesterday, and then Shingle Hollow Fire Department is going to have a medical responders class. I've misplaced my little paper, so I've got to look for it.
The wind blew it away.
No, it didn't. I've just been doing things yesterday evening. Lost it. I'm sorry. Should have had it ready.
That's right. We'll wait on you. We'll wait on you.
I was thinking maybe I should just tell it tomorrow.
Well, if I had that Jeopardy music, I'd play that Jeopardy music. Right? Dun, 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 dun.
Well, that's good stuff to listen to. I miss Alex Rick. Okay, here it is. Medical responders class at Shingle Hollow Fire Department. It's during the summer, May, June, July, and August. There is 96 hours. And if you're interested in taking this course, you can contact Amanda Watson at 287-4732, or you can email Shingle Hollow Fire Department at gmail.com. Shingle Hollow Fire Department at gmail.com. Yep, that's it. Okay, so anybody interested in that? That sounds like a real good thing to be going on this summer.
Yeah, should be good training. All right,
and
anything?
No birthdays.
No birthdays?
No birthdays.
My goodness. Not too many birthdays at all in 1st of April. Maybe they'll all come in May.
Well, I figure that we will have some since it's been a year since quarantine. Everybody was locked down. I think this year will be a baby boom.
It'll be a baby boom this year. I think you're right. All right, Tina, I hope you have a great Easter, good weekend, and do some nice things for yourself, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, you have a very happy Easter, and find some Easter eggs, and remember the real reason for Easter.
Real reason for Easter. That's exactly right. Thank you for reminding us. I'll see you.
And stay safe. Bye-bye.
Tina White reporting out of the Shingle Hollow Fire District up beyond Rutherford, up that way, and we're glad to have her on board with us. It's 7:31 here on the radio. Braves and the Phillies tomorrow, 2:50 airtime, 4 o'clock first pitch.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Now it's 7:33 here in Rutherford, and according to Peter the meter reader, we're 31 degrees, and it's going to be a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Now let's go up toward the Union Mills and talk to the lady that's so disappointed today. How you doing, brother?
Yes. Listen, that Chad called me yesterday morning, and he said, "You ready to coach basketball?" I said, "Yeah, I'd love to be able to coach basketball." He said, "Well, your man's gone." I said, "No." He said, "Yeah, he is." I said, "No, this is April Fool's." I thought he was pulling my leg. He said, "No, it's on ESPN." So I turned the TV over, and sure enough, there he was. They're telling he was going to retire.
Yep, yeah. We first thought it might be an April Fool's prank he was pulling, but he was serious about it.
Yeah.
Well, he's earned the right.
Yeah, he's what, 68, 70, somewhere.
Somewhere along in there, yeah. He's had some bad health over the years.
That's right. I know he has a time he passes out easy if he leans over a certain way or something.
Yeah.
So, but he's been a good one.
He has, and of course, he has a roots right here in North Carolina. Went to school up here in Asheville area, not Asheville, but western part of the state.
Yeah.
So he's got some roots right here. Maybe he'll retire back here in Caroline or somewhere, I reckon.
Well, you never know, and he was born in Marion.
Yes, he was. Is there any houses up around Union Mills he could buy? Maybe.
I'm sure they are.
He could buy a whole hillside up there, could he?
That's right. If not, he can buy the hillside and have one built, right?
That's right. He can start his own development. Money he's made.
So who knows? But I said, oh, it won't be the same watching them without him. But then I felt the same way when Dean Smith left. I said, oh goodness, I can't nobody replace Dean Smith.
Yep, that's right.
But and I'm just wondering how long Coach K will coach Duke.
I don't know. This might be the entry way for him to consider it as well, because they were kind of rivals and they competed professionally against each other. I thought nobody could place Jim Valvano when he left, but
I know it.
But they've done okay, and Duke's done very well under Coach K.
Oh yeah, but it's something else. But let's see, I've got 26 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays or any anniversaries. And today is Good Friday. This is when you're supposed to plant your garden, but it's too cold to plant a garden.
Yes, I think so.
But we better wait on that. And then ways of announcements. Breakfast at the Old Gilkey School will be April the 10th, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Adults is $7. Children 6 to 12 is $3. Kids 5 and under is free, and they ask that you use social distancing and wear your mask. And then Far City Church of the Nazarene will have sunrise service at 7:30 a.m. Sunday. Breakfast to follow, Sunday school at 9:45, and worship at 10:45, and everyone's welcome. And other than that, I ain't got nothing. So we just.
All righty then. You going to go to the Easter sunrise service Sunday?
Well, if I can get this congestion going, I think I'm a little bit. I don't sound near as bad as I did yesterday morning, do I?
No, you sound much better.
I've been taking some of that Benadryl for allergy for congestion, and it seemed to have helped. So if I'm feeling much better, I'll be there.
Great.
So,
well, keep sucking those lemons and drinking that stuff and
I
getting
ain't
some
gonna
rest.
suck no lemons.
Well,
No.
you don't suck on lemons?
No. No. But you may have to hide your own Easter eggs because I don't feel good enough to get out and hide them.
Oh, well. I'll just boil up a couple and eat them.
There you go. There you go.
I hope you get better, Brendan. Have a good weekend and be safe, and hope you get a chance to get to the sunrise service.
Okay, then. You and Faye have a good weekend.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
The Atlanta Braves are back and ready to defend the East, and they're on a mission to make 2021 a season to remember.
1-2 pitch. Hit well, deep left field. This one carrying well. Dickerson back of the wall, and Dansby ripped the stitches right off of this thing.
Tomorrow, the Braves opening weekend continues in Philadelphia in an early season division showdown with the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park. Braves Radio goes on the air at 2:50 Eastern, 1:50 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers of Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. They continue to strive hard to keep that honor. Come on in and see for yourself. Take a look at the all-new design 2021 F-150 or reserve an all-new 2021 Bronco coming in the spring. Don't miss out on the automobile you've been wanting at the Sisk Family Ford price. Take your pick while the picking is good on Oak Street in Forest City.
All right, let's check in over to Ellenboro and see if Luther Gilligan is boiling any eggs and egg dyeing them and getting a place to hide them, or what he's going to do for Easter. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning. We're staying cool down here.
Yeah, man. It's
But it's going to warm up.
Cool
It's going to get up it's going to get up 35, 40 before day's over. We have a good day. But it's quiet this morning, not a whole lot going on. Traffic a little like it. Now everybody not got this swinging thing yet. They'll get going here directly. The city fire department, they had 2 medical calls yesterday, but they're quiet last night. Didn't have anything this morning. So nothing else going on down here, Jim. You have a great day up there, and we'll talk to you next week.
A lot of people are off today. Celebrate this as a Good Friday holiday. Are you off today, or are you working?
I haven't. Good word there. One more torch shower out of the wall, so I got to go fix it.
Oh, well, no rest for the weary.
Yeah, that's right. No rest for the wicked.
You have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Have a great Easter.
You too. Take care.
All right, bye-bye. That's Lucy Gilligan reporting out of Ellenboro this morning, and it's time now for birthdays and anniversaries. And let's see who is celebrating today, and we'd love to celebrate with you. Birthdays and anniversaries for the second day of April, April the 2nd, 2021. So call now at 287-3356, and let's see who is having a birthday or anniversary today. 287-3356.
Jim, have you seen Henson Building Materials' newly remodeled showroom? It's gorgeous.
You mean where they have a full line of hardware and building materials for homeowners and home builders?
I mean where Jamie, Terry, and Tony, their friendly staff, treat me like family. Oh, they're so nice.
Hey, are they taking COVID precautions and have curbside service?
Of course. They're so thoughtful.
I do need some materials, but I don't think they'll fit in our car.
Oh, silly. They have professional delivery so we can get whatever I want.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street in Forest City.
Building starts here.
So when you hear someone say, I have finally found a heating and air conditioning company I can depend on, and you say, who? And they say, Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning. So then you find out more, and you learn Immaculate will do a spring checkup special on your air conditioning for only $49.99. Hot weather's coming soon, and you want to be ready for it with a hassle-free air conditioner. Get it inspected during the spring checkup for this special price of $49.99. You can book online if you'd like to at www.immaculateheatingandair.com. That's immaculateheatingandair.com. Just click the green Book Online button at the top of the page, or if you still want to call, you can do that too. Call 755-8150, 755-8150. And by the way, this reminder to you, my friends, this $49.99 springtime special is for a limited time, so please don't miss it.
Good morning. These are your headlines. Market declines, unemployment, oil prices. These can be pretty scary. Hi, I'm your Edward Jones financial advisor, Andrew Tisdale, and I'll work with you to help you understand the impact of these just short-term events and how it's not going to affect your long-term goals. We can provide the tools and the reasoned, disciplined approach on how to invest. So please, don't let these headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. Call us today, 828-287-9197. Our office is located in the Food Line Plaza in Rutherford. This was Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, and a member of the SIPC. Bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you, and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Birthday. Well, Ernest and Myrtle Logan of Mount Vernon, they're celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary. Isn't that great? Ernest, Myrtle Logan, congratulations. Keep up the good work. Buford Guffey If Rutherford is celebrating birthday number 75, so congratulations to him. Happy birthday, happy anniversary on the second day of April. Now stand by. Keys to Confident Living is coming up here in just a few moments. We'll take you down memory lane with a couple of oldies. And then 8 o'clock, 8:05. 8 o'clock is ABC News 8:05. Mr. Friday Night will be back in to talk about last night's games and tonight's games. Following that, Congresswoman Virginia Fox will be on with me, all straight ahead right here on the morning wake-up call at WCAB.
A father's role in the life of a child is absolutely critical. I applaud all of the efforts being done to strengthen and better equip fathers to fulfill their important role. While I don't profess to have a lot of answers myself, there are some things that I have gleaned from others that might be helpful to a father today who wants to be a good model for his children. First, love your wife. Both boys and girls need to see their parents as a couple devoted to one another. Be a man of integrity. Consistency in your character, both in your public and private life, are essential. Remember, your actions speak louder than your words. Let your children know they are important to you. Give them your time. Make room in your calendar for them. Build up their sense of self-worth. Your praise or criticism have a deep and lasting effect. God blesses us, His children, by the countenance on His face toward us. Use discipline to develop character, not to get rid of your anger. And finally, show tenderness. Expressions of affection are vital. Life passes by all too quickly. Make sure that the life for your child is a good one. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living. Scripts of these programs are sold in book form by calling toll-free 1-888-333-KEYS. That number once again is 1-888-333-KEYS.
The Atlanta Braves are back and ready to defend the East, and they're on a mission to make 2021 a season to remember.
1-2 pitch. Hit well, deep left field. This one carrying well. Dickerson back of the wall, and Dansby ripped the stitches right off of this thing.
Tomorrow, the Braves opening weekend continues in Philadelphia in an early season division showdown with the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park. Braves Radio goes on the air at 2:50 Eastern, 1:50 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
from ABC News. I'm Brian Clark. The Easter weekend arrives with the country at a middle ground in the pandemic. Coronavirus cases are increasing in more than 20 states, but more than 20% of the adult population has been fully vaccinated. Dr. Ashish Jha, the dean of the Brown University School of Public Health, says,
if you need to travel and you've been vaccinated, I think that's pretty reasonable. But I would cut out unnecessary travel and I would hold off if you've not been vaccinated.
He says this is likely to be the last holiday where it won't be safe for unvaccinated people to mingle. Johnson & Johnson announces it's going to begin trials of its single-dose vaccine in adolescents aged 12 to 17. We'll learn more this morning about the economic health of the nation with the March jobs report. Economists expected to show an improvement of anywhere from over 600,000 to 1 million jobs. Former Minneapolis cop Derek Chauvin's behavior during and after the death of George Floyd were under scrutiny Thursday in his murder trial. ABC's Alex Perez has the latest from Minneapolis.
For the first time, we hear Chauvin on body cam shortly after the ordeal, talking to his supervisor, but initially never mentioning he pinned Floyd down with a knee on his neck.
Had to hold the guy down. He was going crazy.
The supervisor he was talking to, retired Sergeant David Pluger, testifying Chauvin should have stopped restraining Floyd sooner.
Death toll continues to climb in a train derailment outside of a rail tunnel in Taiwan. At least 54 people are dead after the train wrecked. It had left Taipei heading for the coastal city of Taitung.
Several carriages are believed to have been crumpled by the impact, hampering rescue efforts. There were 350 passengers on the train at the time. It's a long weekend in Taiwan for the Qingming Festival. Many people would be flocking to popular holiday areas in the east. Britt Clennett, ABC News, Hong Kong.
State media says an improperly parked truck may be to blame for the derailment. You're listening to ABC News.
How clean is your nose? Most airborne germs and allergens invade through the nose, your body's air filter. It's first line of defense. You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? Did you know there's an easy way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself? It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to clean your nose by flushing out pollen, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and it comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. And 50,000 independent online reviews averaging 4.7 stars show just how much people love their Navage. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now you can clean your nose and help protect your health with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage. N-A-V-A-G-E. Make good nasal hygiene your new normal with Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Iran and the rest of the countries still in the agreement to keep Iran from developing nuclear weapons say they're ready for the U.S. to rejoin the agreement. Former President Trump pulled the U.S. out of the deal. More talks are set for next week in Vienna. Myanmar's military government is making new moves to cut off residents from the rest of the world just over 2 months after a military coup. Wireless broadband internet's now shut down. The remaining service has been severely throttled. As Christians around the world mark the most somber day on the calendar, Good Friday, ABC's Jim Ryan says religion across America is changing.
For the first time in the 80 years that Gallup has polled about the topic, fewer than half of Americans consider themselves members of a specific house of worship. And the pandemic has only complicated things.
We've been online every Sunday for 52 weeks.
And Pastor K.P. Tatum of New Mount Rose Missionary Baptist Church in Fort Worth will be online again on Sunday. And while formal membership was falling even before COVID,
we've seen the number of people who get the gospel from us increase.
Despite, but also because of the pandemic. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Still up in the air, the route of the Olympic torch relay in Japan. This week, the mayor of Osaka said he wanted the legs through his city to be canceled because of rising cases of the coronavirus. Head of the Tokyo Olympics today said they're still trying to figure out what they'll do. This is ABC News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
You know, folks are saying once you've used a Massey Ferguson, you won't ever want another tractor. They're tough, versatile, and dependable. And now with the change of season special at NC Tractor and Farm Supply, you'll be wise to get your special deal. Our tractors have been running in families for generations. Ask about the Phil Sheehan special going on right now. NC Tractor, 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. Call 288-0395. Although it looks nice and warm outside with that sun, it is still in the freezer locker with reading the temperature. According to Peter, the meter reader is 32 degrees, but in just a little bit it'll be climbing up to about 51 for a daytime high here in the foothills. That wind will be a factor, though, gusting up to about 17 miles per hour. And tonight, clear and cold, around 27 tonight. Perfect again to wrapping up with a blanket at football night here in Friday night. And a doubleheader week for football, high school football. Mr. Friday night was Mr. Thursday night last night, but he's back on the air with us this morning for Mr. Friday night. Jay Coombs, good morning. How was it last night?
It was cold. It was really cold. Jim, that was one of the coldest games I can remember. What made it so miserable was the wind. It was just a howling out there in Avondale. But although we were on the cold side, the Griffins of TJ, they were heating it up and lighting up the scoreboard, jumped out to a 48-0 lead, and went on to defeat Bessemer City 48-8. Now, Bessemer City had a couple of really good athletes, but they only suited up 13 players. So I guess the headline could be they were simply undermanned for the game last night. Griffins have an open date next week, so last night was their final regular season game. They have completed the season undefeated, 6-0 overall, 5-0 in the conference, and the win last night will guarantee them at least a co-conference championship. Pine Lake Prep still has a couple of games left to play. One, a non-conference game this Saturday, and then next Friday night they square off against the Community School of Davidson. News from Gaston County kind of surprised us. We really thought the East Rutherford Cavaliers had a good shot in their game at East Gaston, but it was all Warriors last night, 54-13. East still winless on the year. They will close out the season next Thursday night at home in Forest City, hosting Shelby. So tonight, wow, what a matchup we have. This game is huge. Chase at RS Central in Rutherfordton tonight at the Palace, 7 o'clock kickoff. It is homecoming for the Hilltoppers. Hilltoppers are 4-1 overall. They are 3-1 in the conference. The Trojans are now 3-2 overall. They are 2-2 in the conference. Now tonight, during the pregame, the countdown to kickoff starting at 6:30, I will go through all of the different playoff scenarios. But to summarize it quickly, this is a huge game tonight for playoff consideration. If the Hilltoppers beat Chase tonight, then that would set up their game against Burns at home in Rutherfordton next Friday night as a playoff game. The winner of that game would advance into the playoffs. Now, Chase really needs to win this week and next week at South Point to have a shot at a possible playoff berth. Now, I say that because there are a couple, but only a couple of at-large playoff berths. I'll run through all the different scenarios later tonight, but this is a big, big game tonight. Chase at RS Central, homecoming for the Hilltoppers. And we are looking forward to a really, really good matchup tonight in Rutherfordton.
Well, double layer tonight. We're wearing a couple of extra pair of socks, some wool underwear tonight. It's going to be another cold one.
Jim, I tried all of that last night. It didn't help with the wind. The good news is tonight we'll be back indoors. We'll be in the Vance Perry press box at RS Central. And, it'd be a whole lot different being in the press box versus being out in the open.
Oh, I can imagine. Jay, we appreciate it so very much. Take care of your voice. It's going to be another great night for high school football, and we'll look forward to talking to you on the radio again next week to give us a summation of what's happening in the world of football. Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Now stand by. Congresswoman Virginia Fox coming up here in about 5 minutes on our morning show.
Get the most out of your tax refund with Bark Mobile's Refund Rack-Up event. Come in this tax season and get a great smartphone at a price you can't beat. Absolutely free. That's right. Get the popular LG Stylo 6 or LG K51 for free when you switch to Bark Mobile. Then rack up even more savings with unlimited data for $45 a month with AutoPay and take your tax refund to the max. Visit a store today to get the most with Bark Mobile. Mobile made easy. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit mybarkmobile.com/terms and conditions.
Well, a friend sent me this notice about those of you who are interested in the Good Friday half-hour online outreach featuring music from Aaron Schust and a message from Will Graham focused on Christ's sacrifice on the cross and the hope that can be found in him. That's this afternoon at 4 o'clock. The event will be broadcast live from the Billy Graham Library in Charlotte, North Carolina, and stream on willgrahamlive.com. And you can go to that live stream with that willgrahamlive.com and pick up that stream. That's this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Well, what's so good about Good Friday? Thanks for sending that message to me. Appreciate that so very much.
Good morning. The impact COVID-19 has had on our community has caused many changes. And some of these changes is our jobs. If your job situation is changing because of a layoff or restructuring, you may have to make several decisions. One of these decisions is what to do with your retirement plan. Let's make sure that your investment plan stays on track and doesn't derail your retirement ideas. Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale from Rutherfordton, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I would love to help you. Please give us a call at 828-287-9197. Our office is located in the Food Line Plaza in Rutherfordton. Edward Jones, making sense of investing and member of the SIPC. Bye.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is taking appointment times for the COVID-19 vaccination. There are two ways to schedule an appointment. First, go to our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com and click on the COVID-19 vaccination tab. Then fill out the consent form, choose your group, and at that time you'll be able to choose an available appointment time. Second, you can just call our pharmacy to schedule an appointment time and we can help you fill out the consent form over the phone. We also at times do have some vaccines available later in the evening, and these are posted on Facebook when we do. If you have any questions or concern, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
We have some exciting news. The popular Dragon Palace is now open for dine-in business. If you've missed their delicious buffet of fried rice, chicken, pork, beef, egg rolls, seafood, desserts, and more, you can dine in 7 days a week. Hours are Sunday through Thursday, 11 till 9, Friday and Saturday, 11 till 9:30. That's the Dragon Palace, Chinese cuisine at its best. 115 Ryan Drive in Forest City, or give them a call at 828-287-5707.
Now, if you're needing some dress clothes for a wedding or a special occasion, the brides, the bridesmaids, the room attendants, go to Joy's Bridal. They got a great inventory there. You can rent them or you can buy them. And Joy's been doing this a long time, about 28 years, and she knows how important those big events are to you. And she's not happy unless you're happy. So go by and see her. And if you need some clothes sewn up, lined up good, they have two seamstresses and alterations experts on staff over there. You can rent your tux. You can buy them either way. You know that Joy's Bridal has what you need. A lot of jewelry for accessorizing your apparel. Lots of jewelry for any occasion. Stylish, beautiful. Why don't you go by Joy's Bridal? Look around and see if you can't find something worthy of your event or worthy of your style. You can make all kinds of payments over there, too. Phone bill, power bill, water bill, whatever kind of bill you want to pay, they take payments for you. Also, Joy's Bridal is open 10 to 6 Monday through Friday, 10 to 4:30 on Saturday. And you'll be glad you shopped at home, and you'll be glad you rediscovered Joy's Bridal there in the Tri-City Mall. It's 8:15. The Sheriff's Report with Deputy Butron is now.
For arrest reports, Ron Lee Gilmer was charged with an order for arrest for failure to comply. Derek Ray Wellborn was served with an order for arrest for 4 counts of felony probation violations. And Benjamin Franklin Moore Jr. was served with a warrant for speed to elude arrest and resisting a public officer. And that's all we've got.
24/7 WCAB is serving the foothills of the Carolinas. Learn more about us at www.wcab59.com.
We're waiting the call from Virginia Fox, Congress lady representing District Number 5, of which most of the county is involved with. But let me update you on Avery Robertson of Rutherford. He advanced to the next round on The Voice this week, but was not without a drama. In the battle round, Avery and fellow contestant country singer Ethan Lively together sang Just Got Started Loving You. But James Otto, the song was Otto's first #1 song and the #1 country single of 2008. Each of the 4 celebrity judges, Blake Sheldon, Kelly Clarkson, Nick Jonas, and John Legend, as a team of contestants. The contestants that isn't chosen as a winner can then be either saved by someone else. So that's what happened. Avery, who is 20 years old, and Ethan, who was 17, they gave a performance, and Kelly, she saved Avery from Blake Sheldon chose the other guy. And so, but he was saved last night. So he goes on to compete again. Now let's welcome to the phone and to the airways this morning our Congress lady from representing District Number 5, Virginia Fox. Good morning to you and happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you too, Jim. How's everything going?
Well, it's cold and beautiful here, but the wind is brisk, and we have high school football Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, so we're just up to our earlobes in football scores, and the Braves started, and we've got our Congress lady on the phone right now to tell us what's going on up in Washington. How you been doing?
I've been doing okay, but, things are sensible down in what they call flyover country, or in the places we live, Jim.
Yes.
I know it's busy for you all with how football's being played in the spring now because of our scare with COVID last fall, which I think was overblown a little bit. Yeah. But I'm glad we're creeping toward normalcy. But what's happening in Washington is make you think you're living in 1984, it is a crazy, crazy world. My newsletter coming out this week is saying, or it's unbelievable what's going on in Washington, D.C. But we have to believe it because it's happening. Yeah. They're trying to make the capital of the United States a state. It would be a tiny, tiny state, but, the founders wanted a place where it wouldn't be associated with a state, so it could be a neutral area. It wouldn't be subjected to influence from the people within the state and to get special favors. Now you'd think their vision in the Constitution is just all out of whack. And so we've been fighting, the Republicans have been fighting this movement for D.C. statehood. A brief history for your listeners. The state of Maryland and the state of Virginia each gave a portion of land for the District of Columbia to be established. You know, it's important to say District of Columbia because it was set up again to be the seat of the government. It's a district. The Constitution clearly talks about states, but anyway, what they have done is they've convoluted the vision of the founders and the spirit of the Constitution. They just have no respect for the Constitution whatsoever. And I'm going to continue to defend the Constitution. There is no way that you can read the Constitution and see that it means for Washington, D.C. to be a state. So we've been fighting that. What they want to do is create a state again of I've forgotten the exact parameters, but it's like it'd be about 2 miles wide.
Oh,
it's just nuts. But we're fighting that. We're fighting a lot of things. The bill was passed that gave what was called COVID relief. That only 1% of $1.9 trillion had any money in it directly for COVID relief. The rest of it is for all the pet projects of the far left. And I know people will probably be happy that they got checks for $1,400, but I don't know if they've noticed how much gas has gone up lately, Jim.
Oh, yes.
Have you noticed that?
I have noticed that every morning.
It's gone up about 30%.
Yes.
And when President Obama was president, we were paying $4 a gallon. And so I suspect you're going to see $4 a gallon again under this president. And believe you me, that $1,400 is not going to go very far.
Let me interrupt you just a moment, if I may, Congressman Lady. This package, so that they're sending out, with all that expenditure, only a small percentage of it going to COVID relief. Is that coming? Is that being generated out of Nancy Pelosi's office, or are they getting together, their heads together, and say, let's see if we can stake it to the American people? Where's that coming from?
It's coming straight from Nancy Pelosi's office.
That's what
that's where Obamacare came from, was straight out of her office. Jim, the way our process works is a bill gets introduced, it goes to a subcommittee. Subcommittee has debate on it, and you offer amendments. Then you bring it to a committee and you debate it. Then you bring it to the floor, and it's all out in the open. But everything the Democrats do is done in secret, and then they just bring things straight to the floor, and you have to vote on them, yay or nay. And you just don't get any chance to amend them. I mean, we offer amendments, but the Rules Committee never makes them in order, so you never get a chance to vote on them.
Wow.
It's just a convoluted, again, system that has been developed up there by the Democrats. The one thing that we did get settled this week, which I'm very happy about, finally the will of the people, I think, was heard, and that's on the Iowa race. You probably heard about Marionette Miller Meeks.
Yes.
She won her election by 6 votes. Now, that's a good example of how every vote counts. Every vote counts. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, it won't matter whether I vote or not. My vote won't count. Well, it does. She won by 6 votes. The votes were recounted twice, and then they were certified twice. But the Democrats tried to steal that election from Marionette Miller Meeks. Well, we beat our drums incessantly about it. And I'm sure what happened was that Nancy Pelosi did polls in the districts of some of her more vulnerable members, and they found out that if they stole this election, that it would be heck to pay. And so they finally talked the woman who was challenging it into withdrawing her challenge. So that's one thing we can put behind us. But it proves what the American people say all the time. Fight, fight, fight. Fight for what's right.
Yeah.
And that's what Republicans are doing. We are fighting for what is right in this country. We are not going to let them just knock us down and take things from us. We're going to fight back.
How does that change the complexion of the House now in terms of numbers?
Well, it just solidifies what we had.
Okay.
Most people, I mean, I know we lost the presidency, but what's the good news is we won every single incumbent. That hasn't happened since 1994. And you know what happened in 1994.
Yes.
We had a revolution in this country. The Republicans gained the majority in the House for the first time in 40 years. So we believe this is a good sign for us for 2022. But it didn't change. Still Democrats have only a 5-vote majority in the House, which hasn't tempered them much. The bills they've been passing have still been the most radical pieces of legislation we've seen in a long, long time. So it hasn't changed it much. But at least now they don't have 6 extra seats. They have only 5.
That's good. Do you think, I know you got to go, and I do too, but let me ask you this. Do you think they're rushing to get all this done now because they recognize that they're probably going to lose both houses in the midterm elections?
I think so. That's the general wisdom about it. But what we have to do is still hold back as much of the bad stuff as we can, because a lot of damage can be done. A lot of damage has been done to this country already. Look at what's happening on the border, Jim.
Oh, boy.
Opening up the border and letting in hundreds of thousands of people, many of them with COVID. 20% have COVID. Now, here we are being told, wear 2 masks and don't assemble more than a few people at a time. And yet they're letting in hundreds of thousands of people who have COVID. And we're being told just to ignore that these poor people deserve to come to our country. Jim, if we open the borders, we'd have millions of people coming into the country, because we are still the greatest country in the world.
Sure.
And I want us to stay that way.
Absolutely. It's amazing. And I shake my head every day when I see the news and watch the news, what's happening down there. And I know you as our Congress lady is concerned about that as well.
I am, and I'll tell you what, I want us to say many, many prayers of thank you. I do. First thing I wake up in the morning, I say, thank you, Lord, for letting me live in this country. When I say a blessing over food, I always say that.
Yes.
And the last thing I say at night when I go to bed is, thank you, Lord, for letting me live in this wonderful country.
Congress Lady Virginia Funk, we are going to have to etch out more time to talk because our time just runs out. But I appreciate so very much you're giving us some time and this time to talk about it.
Love to do it, Jim. Thank you for helping me keep the people informed.
Thank you. You have a great Easter.
You too.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
27 minutes after 8 o'clock. Thank you, Congressman Lady from the 5th District, which represents most of Rutherford County, for being with us today.
4-3, they pull within 1 point of Tampa and Florida, who are tied atop the Central Division. On the pro court, Brooklyn overpowered Charlotte 32-11 in the first quarter. The Nets' Jeff Green outscored the Hornets all by himself during that period, logging a dozen in the opening frame. The Nets beat the Hornets 111-89.
This time I'm gonna kick that football clear to the moon! Isn't it peculiar, Charlie Brown, how some traditions just slowly fade away?
The NFL is considering a rule change that would allow teams to maintain possession of the ball after a score by substituting one offensive play for an onside kickoff attempt. The proposal submitted by the Philadelphia Eagles is among 11 that will be voted on at the spring league meetings. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Sunny and milder for the day tomorrow, the high temperature in the low 60s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network.
We have just popped the lid on the freezer locker. We jumped up now to 33 degrees, but it'll be climbing real fast before you know it. It's going to be our daytime high of 51 degrees. Clear tonight with lows around 27. Folks, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Have a great Easter. Spend some time understanding what the season is all about, and spend some time with your family and friends in church on Easter if you can. And remember the holy season. It's 8:30. This is WCAB Rutherfordton. And time now for the Word of Faith radio program. And with the program again this morning, here is Mark Morris.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you again for listening. This is Mark with Word of Faith Fellowship, and we're back with you, and we are sharing with you about how God has saved our church members from death. We've been going on this program now this is the 4th series that we've had in how God has saved people from near-death experiences. And if you want to go back and listen to the other programs, you can go to our website. That's wordoffaithfellowship.org, and you're going to be amazed, and your faith is going to grow as you hear about how God has saved people from death. It's amazing as we've been doing these programs. I didn't know all of the miracles that we've had in my church, but God has saved people from so many different things. Isn't it amazing that God's hand has been our lives from the very beginning? God watches over us. God loves us. God protects us. God wants us to fulfill the call that's on our life. And so we're sharing with you about the miracles, about God has protected us over the years. We've had many different experiences. There's different backgrounds. But one thing for certain is that God's hand has been with us to save us. So we're going to keep going today. We have many people who want to share how God has protected them. And so we're going to start with David Calder. David, you have had an amazing thing when you were young. I didn't know it until we were talking the other night, and I am so glad that you're here today because you really could have been destroyed. You could have died, and so share with us about what happened with you.
Well, I was thinking last night, I've had a brush with death more than one time, and probably most people have and don't even realize it.
Right.
How close a car accident, you'd be in 30 more seconds in the wrong place. That's why it's so important to hear from God where we're supposed to be. But when I was about, I guess, 12 to 14 years old, I used to go deer hunting with my uncle every weekend. And this particular weekend, we went down early. We went down on a Friday night, got there fairly late. And my uncle had some other appointments. So he had me ride to the hunting cabin with one of the younger guys who had not long had his driver's license, and he unfortunately was very intoxicated. I was about 14. I really didn't know what was going on, Mark. So anyway, we took my uncle's Ford Bronco Jeep, didn't have a roll bar, and so we're going down this road. It's a dirt road, not even a gravel road. It's a dirt road, middle of the night, and we're running, I can't remember, but it was like we were going fast, like 60, 70 miles an hour down this dirt road. And I started feeling a little funny. I remember I'm thinking, you're going too fast. In fact, I said something to Ronnie, the guy driving. I said, you need to slow down. And it's like he didn't even hear me. And another minute or so, all of a sudden we started swerving. There was nothing he could do to control the vehicle. And there was large canals on each side of that dirt road. They were like 8 or 10 foot deep on each side. And I remember swerving, and he swerved back he lost control and swerved back to the right really fast, and we went down into the canal. Fortunately, it was dry. It'd been a dry season because there was no water in the canal. And when we hit, we started flipping. And we flipped. The highway patrolman was amazed when he saw what had happened. But we flipped end over end, front to back, end over end, 3 times, and landed sitting back up on the tires. If there would have been one time that it would have crashed onto the ceiling, I didn't have a seatbelt on. He didn't have a seatbelt on. Didn't have airbags in the 70s. Right. He did get some brain damage from that accident, and I got a soft tissue back injury. But the hand of God was on my life. And I saw it from a young age. I always wanted to serve God. I always wanted to do the will of God. Didn't know how, but I remember when I was a kid, I'd get in front of a microphone, a fake microphone, and I would preach. And so God's hand's been on my life. God has saved me many times, but that particular instant, I remember as we were tossing through the air and flipping, I can still feel that feeling that I was having while that was happening. Everything went in slow motion all of a sudden. And I thought, I'm going to die. And we were flipping, and it's like it took 4 or 5 minutes to flip, but it all happened probably in 45 seconds. We were going so fast. But I remember thinking, God help me, and thinking I was going to die. And then we came to rest back up on the tires of the vehicle, and I was shocked. I was so grateful. I was not intoxicated. I didn't drink at that point in my life. But anyway, we got out. It's the middle of the night. We're out in the middle of nowhere on the way to the deer camp. And we were just sort of dragging ourselves along, sitting down, dragging. He couldn't hardly walk. He was pretty badly injured. And I was just having back pain. But later on, 2 or 3 hours later, my uncle finally came by and saw what would happen. And I had a scripture I wanted to share that God gave me last night, and it's so appropriate. It says, it's Psalms 56:13. For you have delivered my life from death.
That's right.
And he did. He delivered my life from death. All these testimonies I've heard, he's delivered their life from death. And it says, yes, my feet from falling. Why did he deliver me? That I may walk before God in the light of life and of the living. So God saw this day.
Yes.
God saw that I had a heart to serve him.
Right.
There was a call of God on my life, and God saved my life.
He did.
That time and other times that I could give him my life and fulfill the call of God on my life.
That's right, David. Very powerful. I know people who have had accidents like that and they died. I know people who had serious injuries, and here you are right here, and God brought you through it. So I'm so grateful. God protected your life.
God protected my life.
Thank you so much, David, for sharing.
Thank you.
And so we're going to keep going on this program. The next person that we have is Priscilla. And Priscilla's going to share a time in her life. Priscilla actually moved here from Brazil with her family, and she's going to share about a time when she was in Brazil when she was younger and how God protected your life. So go ahead, Priscilla.
Thank you, Mark. It was January of 1987, and we were on vacation. Like you said, I'm from Brazil, and we were in Rio de Janeiro, and we are not even from that state, so evidently we didn't know the area very well. But my mom had a friend that lived on the outskirts of the city and invited us to spend the night with her and visit her house, so we went over there. The next morning, we were going to go back to the place we were staying in Rio. And she said, would you be able to swing by my friend's house and give her a ride? We said, sure. So it was my mom, and I have 2 younger brothers, and we had another lady with us, and this friend. We went by her friend's house, and my mom stopped the car. She went inside with my 2 brothers, and I sat in the car with the other lady that was with us. There was a guy washing a car outside, and he kept watching. I didn't really notice him much, but my mom was taking a long time, and the guy came back, knocked on the window, and he said, your mom's calling you. And I thought, well, maybe she wants us to introduce me to them or whatever. So I went in. I walked up the front steps, and when I opened the door, the living room had several people on the floor, tied up with their hands behind their back. All the guys had some cloth or something covering their head. And I immediately knew that was a robbery situation. So I turned around to leave, and the guy that had called me in the car put a gun to my head, and he said, go in or I'm blowing your head. And at that point, like I said, it was 1987. 3 years prior, my dad had been murdered with 2 gunshots to the head. And that was very real to me at that point. So I turned back around. I spotted my mom. I sat beside her. They tied my hands behind my back. And I looked for my brothers, and they were like in a doorway to another room. They were back to back to each other, and their hands were tied together. And there was 3 robbers. One was in the living room. At that point, I think everybody was in the living room. and it was pretty full in there. And there was 2 other guys searching the house and collecting everything that they wanted to take at that point. I don't really know what the deal was with that house, but there was people that had stopped by before and a few more people that stopped by after us. And so anybody that kept coming in, they'd do the same thing. And the living room was full. They started taking them to the bedrooms and tying them in the bedrooms, and they were very, very angry. And the guy that was watching us in the living room was the guy that told me to come in. So when I sat down, I started praying. Now, when my dad died, I stopped going to church. And so I had been out of church for 3 years at this point. But I started praying, and this guy said, "Are you praying?" I said, "I am." He said, "So pray for me." He said, "I'm not doing this because I want to. I'm doing this because I can't go on vacation like you guys, and I've got to feed my children." So I don't remember. We might have exchanged a few more words. I don't remember. All I know is I kept praying, and then at one point they tried to move my brothers into a back bedroom. My mom started crying and pleading with them, and that guy said, "Leave them there." So my brothers were kept in there. Towards the end, they loaded. There was our car and 2 more cars at the house. They loaded the 3 cars and they left. At some point, somebody was able to break free from the ties and got everybody free. And of course, then the police came in and all of that. But one detail about that whole thing we did not know about that town is it's not a good area at all. And it's basically controlled by 2 mafias. And I guess the way it works is you can rob here and we can rob here. Do not go into each other's territories. The woman that was my mom's friend, we found out her dad was friends with the head of one of the sides of the mafia. And he contacted his friend there, and it may be confusing, but basically those guys were robbing in the wrong area. So the head guys got into place and started doing their job a little faster than the police. So we find out they actually caught the guys and hung them. But
the mafia that controlled that area didn't like the group coming into their territory, and they hung them.
Yeah. Well, the police ended up locating the 3 cars, and there again, whether it was that man that asked me to pray for him, I don't know. But 2 of the cars were completely stripped. They took everything. It was just the shell of the car. Our car was intact. They did not touch our car. And we did not recover anything at all that they took, but the car was intact. But more than anything, no life was lost. And they sure were very angry. They had knives at our necks. It was very, very scary. It was very, very serious. And although I had been far from God at that point, I still see the hand of God on my life. And where God had a plan for my life, I saw after that other places in my life where my life could have been taken. I've had 2 very near-death situations with car accidents. I tried to take my life as a teenager, and at every point, God was there to protect me, to save me, to guard me, because He had a plan for my life. And for that, I'm very grateful.
It is. And I was just thinking about your testimony. I was looking at Isaiah 41, Priscilla. It says, "You whom I, the Lord, have taken from the ends of the earth and have called from the corners of it and said to you, you are my servant. I have chosen you and not cast you off, even though you are exiled. Fear not, there is nothing to fear, for I am with you. Do not look around you in terror, be dismayed, for I am your God." And that's really what God was saying to you. He said that He's called you to be His servant from the end of the earth. God's hand was on you, even though you weren't really going to church at that time, but God's hand was on you, and He was telling you, fear not. So that's an amazing testimony. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we're going to keep going here. So we have Ann Prince coming, and Ann is also going to share about an amazing testimony with us where her life could have been destroyed. A very serious incident when you were boating, Ann. So tell us about what happened.
Okay. I'm from South Carolina originally, and we had a lake house at Santee Cooper. And we did swimming, skiing, boating, fishing. That was our lifestyle there. And one particular night, a friend of ours who lived next door to us had just bought a pontoon boat. So we decided we wanted to go for a ride in that pontoon boat. Well, it was about May, I guess. This was in the late 70s, 1970s. And when we got into the pontoon boat and started off, we realized we were too cold. So we went back and we parked that boat, and we decided we wanted to go across the lake to a friend's house. And so my husband and the other couple got in our boat, and we started to cross over and visited with the people, and then we decided that we were coming back home. So they were in a slough-like, and then the big water is out here. We were coming out of that slough very slow, because there's piers with lights on the end of the piers. There were fishermen out there. So the bow of our boat was up like this, and the back of it was down in the water. And we were coming out of that slough going into the big water, and there was another boat that was coming down the big water. And in that boat, there was 5 teenagers. We collided together. They actually ruled it an unavoidable accident. But the sad thing about it was that there was a young man that was on the bow of the other boat, and he drowned. I was not unconscious. There was a partition of glass that was from the front of our boat that went to the second part of the boat. And that glass, whenever the boats hit together, that glass hit me in the face. And I had, all my teeth were jagged on the front of my mouth. My nose was pulled back, and my face was very bruised, and, well, I looked like a monster, really. Actually, whenever somebody came to see me in the hospital, they fainted. That's how bad I looked. And I woke up, I came to as they were pulling me out of the water into the boat. My husband, somehow or another, not any of us had any life jackets on. We had those floating pillars that you can, hold on around like this in the water. And that pillar came up on top of the water as he was holding on to me, because the boat started immediately going down after it collided with the other boat. And his hand hit one of those pillars, and he put that pillar under my head until some of the fishermen that were out there, thank God for that, they came to our rescue, and they were pulling me into the boat. And I remember coming to and hearing something, and then I went back out again, unconscious. And the next thing I remembered was I was in the hospital, and the doctor was trying to get a contact lens out of my eye, but I went unconscious again after that. So that night, my husband and I both were put in the hospital room side by side. And the next morning, I could hear people talking, but I just couldn't wake up. But I heard my sister and my mother saying, maybe she can have plastic surgery. So I knew that something bad had happened to me. And so the first thing when I woke up was I said, I want to see a mirror. I want a mirror. I want to see how I look. And so when I looked at myself, it was really devastating. But, God is so good. He saved my life. He kept me alive. I never had any plastic surgery. I've been through having some dental work done. My nose got sewed back on. I don't even have a place on my face where that was sewn together. God is good, and He will protect you. I know if I had died that day, I probably would have gone to hell. But He has brought me here. I'm learning the ways of God. I'm learning to hear His voice. I'm learning to obey Him. I'm learning to know what I need to do and what I don't need to do. And that night, I didn't need to be in that boat. That was one thing that I realized.
Right.
I did not need to be in that boat that night. But his saving power kept me alive.
Yes.
Kept all four of us alive in that accident. The other couple only had some, she had a broken back, and so she suffered from that. Plus she had, her arm got hurt real bad too, and she had to have surgery on it. My husband, I think he just got some lacerations on the face, and the other couple, husband did too. But it was a miracle.
Yes, absolutely.
That we survived that. It was a miracle.
It's a miracle, and it's amazing. You look great, Ann. I didn't know your face went through all that.
Yes,
you never
it
know.
did.
You look so nice. And,
Thank you.
And, I was just thinking how much God's hand was on your life. You of course, have shared your full testimony on a radio program in the past, and you have an amazing life.
Yes.
God has kept you over the years. I know when you shared your testimony, you shared about growing up knowing God, and then there's places in your heart where you really didn't seek Him like you should have, and so God dealt with you. But I was thinking about Psalm 121 when I was thinking about your testimony. In verse 3 it says, He will not allow your foot to slip or to be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is your keeper.
Yes.
And I thought about that with your life, because you're thinking about your whole testimony. He's kept you, Ann. He kept you on that
really
boat
has.
accident. He's kept you over the years, and here you are. God knew the plan for your life. God knew your heart, Ann, that you were going to want to give Him your whole heart.
Yes.
He was keeping you all the way till now. So such a powerful testimony.
Mark. That is perfect what you just said, because that's my life. That's the way my life has been. It really is.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And now we have Bobby and Marcy, and they're going to share with us a truly serious situation when they were in Guatemala. So, Bobby, go ahead and get us started. What happened to you in Guatemala?
We'd gone to Guatemala and taken some of our church people, my husband and I, and our daughter Marcy, who's with us, and we were teaching in a Christian school, in a Bible school, and so we were there all week, and we had been ministering, and it was Sunday morning, and we were set to fly out of Guatemala that next day, so we needed to get off the mountain. We were in a remote area up in the mountains, and I'd gone in to take a shower, and the interesting thing about Guatemala is they use propane gas, but they add no odor to it. You cannot smell it, you don't know the gas is on, and they have a unit that's in every shower, and it's heated by a flame. So we didn't realize it had malfunctioned, and the flame had gone out. So that all the gas is just pumping into the bathroom, and I was taking a shower, and I don't remember anything. I don't remember passing out, but my husband realized I was in the shower way too long, and so he came in to check on me. So he found me laying on the floor, and he said that I was looking straight up, bubbles were coming out of my mouth, and my eyes were fixated, and I was passed out, and so he just started praying. He prayed very hard, very strong, and kept praying. Well, Marcy was in a bungalow a couple bungalows down away from us, and she could hear him praying. So she knew something was going on, so she ran up, and she heard him calling my name. And so he came out at some point, a few minutes after that. She was in the room and in the bungalow, and he opened the door. And when he opened the door, she ran in to find out what was going on. And when he kept praying, and within a few minutes he passed out. So she kept praying, and then she opened the door to get help. And Marcy can say what happened, because I
What happened after that, Marcy?
Well, once my dad passed out, there was a knock on the door, and it was the minister's wife, and she said, Marcy, we've got to get you out of here. There's gas. Then I passed out, and they dragged my dad and I outside. So we came to quicker, but with my mom, they just took her to the couch, and a nurse was checking her vitals, and there were no vitals. She was gone. Well, all of our people that had come on the trip were praying. They sent them outside, but they kept praying. So it had been like an hour that she was gone. And but then she started to come to. And at that point,
when I came to, had major pain in my body. It was incredible pain. So I just started praying and praying as much as I could pray. But actually, they said I started praying very strong because I was fighting for my life. I didn't realize how much I was fighting for my life, but I just kept praying and praying and praying. And I did come back to life, and they said it was an hour that I'd been out in the living room. So I don't know how long I'd been in the shower. Jerry thinks it was about 10, 15 minutes maybe I was in there.
You know, it's a very serious thing. You were explaining about how when you take in the natural gas, and of course, like we have safety implementations here, and we put odors, and of course you have carbon monoxide detectors. But you said you were in a fairly remote place in Guatemala.
Yes.
But it's very serious. People die from this.
Yes.
You died. You had no vitals.
No.
The oxygen leaves. It's replaced by the natural gas, and so very serious situation. Marcy, it's amazing that you all were you stayed in there and you prayed. Of course, this was, I assume you didn't have 911. You couldn't just call 911, call an ambulance.
No, they couldn't take me to a hospital anywhere because there was no hospital close.
Right.
So they couldn't hook me up to any machines to get my heart going. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't give me. Did they try to give me oxygen at one point? But it didn't work.
We were supposed to go on a bus that day to the main city to get the flight out the next day. Right. Well, they made arrangements for the three of us and a nurse to go on a plane, and they pumped 100% oxygen. High amounts of oxygen.
Right.
And we flew to the main city, and then the next day we got on a plane, came home.
Yes.
Well, and tell us about how it was recovering from this.
It was a slow recovery. I had a lot of difficulty walking. I couldn't walk very well. I couldn't stand for any length of time. I was in a lot of pain. And, of course, there's nothing to treat somebody that's been dead and that had all of their oxygen taken out of their body and replaced by gas. Nobody knew what to do. Different doctors tried to help me with different things, but there wasn't anything. Right. It was God. It was God that saved me, my life, raised me from the dead, and is still healing my body.
Right.
It's still.
Well, how many years ago was this?
It was about 32 years ago we figured
well,
out.
You're still here. You're still here breathing.
We're
you're alive.
Breathing.
You have your vitals right next to me here.
I am doing great.
I know you get around. You move around. You take care of grandchildren and all kinds of stuff, and you're always active. And so it's a miracle. Of course, God brought you and your family to our church, and so we're so thankful. But what a miracle!
It was a
God
miracle.
raised you from the dead, Bobby, and you're alive and you're here and you're proclaiming Jesus Christ, and it's an absolute miracle. So I am so thankful. Isn't it amazing that we can turn our hearts in prayer? Marcy, when you see your mother with no vitals, you're on top of a mountain, you turn your heart to God. You cried out to God. And that's the one thing that God wants us to do, is turn to Him in every situation. You know, here we have more medical help than you had there, and we can always get the ambulance. But God wants us to still cry out to Him in every situation, and everything. And God heard your prayer. I mean, God heard the prayer of all your church and your family. God loves you, and He was watching after you. And so many times, you know, there's testings in these situations. What are we going to do when you're watching something, when you see that there's no vital signs? What are you going to do? And you and your family chose to pray. You chose to pray. You weren't going to stop. You were going to trust God.
Yes.
So what a powerful testimony. I was just thinking about Psalm 91, Bobby, about your life, and it's such a powerful psalm. But even if you look at verse 15, it says, "He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him with long life. Will I satisfy him and show him my salvation?" And that's what God's done for you. Here you are. God's given you long life. 30 years ago or more, you could have been dead. And it says that when we call upon Him in the day of trouble, He will answer. Wherever you are, whatever's going on, you called upon the name of the Lord, and He answered, and here you are. So we are so thankful to God for His protection on our lives. We've heard one miracle after another on these programs. As I said, we've had now 4 programs on people who God has saved from near-death experiences. And if you would like to hear those programs, go to our website. The website is wordoffaithfellowship.org. We're actually videoing these, and you can watch them. And we're also on this radio program Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8:30 to 9. We're so glad that you have been listening. I hope that you continue to listen, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thank you.
The music's on now.